The next night, the same thing. She went to her daughter, good night, ritual. But before you go to bed, would you share your pearls with me? Would you give me your pearls? Oh, Mommy, I love you, but these are my special pearls, and they make me feel so big and so good. It's okay, honey. That's all right. And her mom kissed her goodnight. The third night, her mom went in and said, honey, I know that those pearls are precious to you, but would you share your pearls with me? And with big fat tears rolling down her face, the daughter said, Mom, I love you. I do. I will give you my pearls. And she took off that string of plastic pearls. And with the tears in her face, she gave her mom the pearls. And as she gave her mom the pearls, and her mom accepted those pearls with one hand, she said, that's so great, honey, that you would do that, because you're ready now to have your grandmother's pearls. And I'm going to give you real pearls for you, for the princess and the beautiful, beautiful light that you are. This is what Karen does for us. She is forever asking me to give her or give up my plastic pearls. Many faces of Karen Fry. All the different ways that love can show up, right? All the different truly extraordinary things that is packaged in one extraordinary package. So for those of you who maybe don't know, Karen and I met, many years ago in leadership at CSL. She was in leadership. I've been in leadership for a long time. Our paths crossed. We got to know each other kind of casually. Occasionally had lunch together at events or different things. And then she went into ministerial school, and during that process, she would come to me sometimes and ask questions. We would meet and talk about things, and then ultimately she asked me to mentor her in her starting of her community, which you saw a little bit about. Her first community, her community she wanted to start was in San Francisco, and called The Open Door. And then things changed for her with her relationship, with her home, with work there, and she called me up and said, okay, I guess I'm going to have to candidate for a community, and would you help me with my resume? And I said, no, not for 2 weeks. Don't tell anybody that you're thinking about candidating for 2 weeks. Because what Karen didn't know is that I had spent the last year and a half looking for a partner in ministry. Actually, I've been cultivating somebody which we thought might work out, but it ultimately did not work out. And I had assistant ministers, but I really wanted a partner in ministry. As you got to experience last week with Michael Gott, Reverend Dr. Michael Gott and I had really built a partnership in ministry. I really loved that, and I was looking for that again. And when Karen said she was available to candidate, I was like, that is what I want as a partner in ministry. Strong, powerful presence, a loving presence, somebody who really understands the science of mind and has a very big vision and is willing to go for it. That was not in our budget. And for the first time I went out and I asked people for money, and we raised her salary, and she took the call to become a partner in ministry. With many years of experience in business and a love of God and a vision that was huge. And one of the things that happened when Karen and I talked about her coming here, she came, she checked it out, and I noticed that while I was interviewing her, she was interviewing me too. And I remember sitting at one point, and so she leaned back, she crossed her arms, and she said, so, how big is your vision? And I thought, oh shit, is it big enough? Oh, sorry, not allowed to say that on Sunday morning. I'm sorry. Richard, you have to edit that out. No, really, I did. I thought, oh, is my vision big enough, right? Because that's so much of what Karen brings is this big, big energy, this big vision, this big heart, this big presence, this beautiful, bright light. And like so many of us, that has not always been appreciated in her life. And I'm sorry about that. Because your light is amazing. And you stretch each one of us. You've stretched me and grown me and pushed me and caused me to be bigger than I've ever been because of how big you are. And so today we celebrate that. We take the lid off of that. We blow away anybody who has ever said it was too big or too much or too strong or too powerful or too loud or too bright. Because we need it. We need it from you. We need it. So, a long time ago, I heard this story about a mom and her daughter. She was, 7, 8, 9. She was becoming a bit of a fashionista. And she was discovering that she could go out and get those, pink heart sunglasses. The cute little tutu. She was, Mom, you do not need to dress me for school anymore. I can do it myself. Very creatively, I must add. And one day they were out shopping, and the little girl, she decided that she wanted to be a princess. And in the process of deciding she wanted to be a princess, she found this beautiful plastic string of pearls hanging on the rack. And that's what she wanted. She knew that if she had those pearls, she'd be a princess. And her mom, loved to see her grow and shine and expand and really just be all that she could be. And so her mom bought her the pearls. And she wore them. And she wore them. And she wore them. And she wore them. She wore them to bed. She wore them all the time because they made her feel so amazing. She was, all the Disney princesses put together when she wore those pearls. And one day her mom came to say goodnight, tell her the story, the goodnight story. And right before she kissed her goodnight, she said to her daughter, I know you love those pearls so much and they're so beautiful. Would you be willing to give me your pearls? The little girl was like, oh no, these are my princess pearls. Okay, it's okay, honey. She said it's okay, and she kissed her daughter goodnight and went away out of the room. The next night, the same thing. She went to her daughter, goodnight, ritual. But before you go to bed, would you share your pearls with me? Would you give me your pearls? Oh, Mommy, I love you, but these are my special pearls, and they make me feel so big and so good. It's okay, honey. It's all right. And her mom kissed her goodnight. The third night, her mom went in and said, honey, I know that those pearls are precious to you, but would you share your pearls with me? And with big fat tears rolling down her face, the daughter said, Mom, I love you. I do. I will give you my pearls. And she took off that string of plastic pearls. And with the tears in her face, she gave her mom the pearls. And as she gave her mom the pearls, and her mom accepted those pearls with one hand, she said, that's so great, honey, that you would do that, because you're ready now to have your grandmother's pearls. And I'm going to give you real pearls for you, for the princess and the beautiful, beautiful light that you are. This is what Karen does for us. She is forever asking me to give her or give up my plastic pearls. I'm serious. The limited idea, the settling for, well, the plastic pearls are good enough. They're cool. They're good enough. They look. I will say these are real pearls from Bali. So I had to wear them in honor of the story. And what an extraordinary thing, over and over and over again, to be asked, to be invited to give up that which is okay, which is good, to give it up for that which is great. And I think about that little girl, and sometimes it's hard to give up that which we're comfortable with, that which we know, that which we think is actually quite satisfactory. We've worked for it. We've gotten something, and we're good. Yeah, but that's it, right? We're good, but we're maybe not great yet. And Karen has this profound and wonderful ability with her joy and enthusiasm and her bigness is to invite us into our bigness.
I'm so glad you joined us today. That makes you a part of CSLDallas, and we love that our community continues to grow. And we also love to give great spiritual content. And a way that you can participate in our community is financially give to it. It's easy to do so. Go to CSLDallas.org and hit the give button. Or you can set up a text giving mechanism at 972-954-4404, a safe and secure way to send us money whenever you watch a great message like this. So thanks for giving, and buckle up, because here comes the spiritual content.
Each and every time that we're confronted with someone's light and someone's bigness, we get to feel where we stand with our own. And do you know how you know where you stand with your own bigness? Is whether her bigness invites you into yours or whether it invites you into judgment. How many times have you been with someone and you thought, oh man, that's a little overwhelming. That's a little bit much. That's a little bit, right? And yet what that is our light seeking to come out, our light seeking to break through, and our comfort with our plastic pearls. With her positive, passionate enthusiasm for the science of mind and her commitment to inclusivity, Karen has been growing us in a big way, right? And we've been learning together about how to do that. Science of mind has always been inclusive as a theology, has certainly been open and affirming in every way, but has not been as committed to the demonstration of inclusivity in action as Karen has stretched us into. That is a profound thing for us to be grown over and over and over and over again in all the ways in which we can be grown. To break through old ideas, old limitations, comfort, things that are comfortable and known and sure. Right, that little girl, she was sure that her plastic pearls made her a princess. She didn't know that if she was willing to give them up, that Grandma's real pearls would come to her, right? And sometimes in that switching, in the unknown, is a great deal of discomfort. And so one of the things that we learn, that we gradually begin to embrace is that we have to become comfortable with our discomfort. We have to become comfortable with being stretched and grown, being invited to break through, being invited to think bigger, see more. And Karen, with her deep and profound commitment to prosperity, not only her own and CSLDallas's and each one of yours, but prosperity in our movement for our ministers and for every other community. That commitment grows us, grows me. How big is my bucket? How much good can I actually imagine? Am I seeking a good that is as big as God? Or am I seeking what I'm comfortable with? Right? And it's a little uncomfortable out there, trying something new, testing the skinny branches, being out in a place that maybe we've never been before, working in a new environment, trying out a new activity, deciding that we're going to be something that we've not been before. Yeah. So in this process of becoming the bigness that we are, of breaking through the limitation, the very first thing is we have to make friends with our discomfort. We have to make friends with learning, trying new things, being pushed out of our comfort zone. It is our soul's passion that is crying for that. It is the impulse of the very desire of our being that is responding, that is resonating when we feel that urge and we are invited into our own bigness. The second thing that I've really become aware of, and unfortunately Karen is infecting the staff with it, and that is we have to confront our excuses. Not only does Karen call me on my limitation, but the staff now does too. Really? That's really that? You know that you're going to say that? Because it's easy when we're comfortable. I've been doing this for a long freaking time, as we know from last week. And I have to constantly remind myself, just because we've always done it this way doesn't mean we have to keep doing it this way. And just because I know this is the way to do it, there is also this other way that it could be done, right? Which is a perhaps larger vision. I actually noticed that in the last staff meeting we had about that, it was not just Karen, it was 2 other staff members who called me out on confronting my excuses. Wow, right? Isn't that great? Oh, maybe, sort of, right? But that's what we want to do as we grow, as we really pull ourselves out there, right? To have the courage to surround ourselves with people who are bigger, smarter, better than we are, and who are willing, lovingly, to call us on our excuses. Even when we don't like it. Right? What a profound thing. What a profound thing not to collude with each other's littleness. Not to collude with each other's excuses, rationalizations, reasonings, and the way that we figured it out. But to allow that to be an awakening for us. To allow that to really invite us to ask our own questions to ourselves. Is this really as big as I can imagine it? Is this really the fullest sense that I have about my prosperity, my work, my success, my opportunities, my children, my ability to love, the deepest, is this as deep as my relationship with the divine can go, really? Is this as much meditation as I can do? Are we sure? Do you see? And so surrounding ourselves with people who are willing to lovingly confront us and not collude with us in our excuses, in our rationalizations, in our smallness is such an amazing thing. And when you have done that in your own life, you will know that you have decided to let your light shine. When all of those times when you are uncomfortable, when somebody is calling you out a little bit, when somebody's poking at your vision a little bit, right? Not the naysayers, right? We're clear. We're not talking about the naysayers we're not talking about those people, right? But the people who can see you, see what's possible for you and are like, really? When you've surrounded yourself with those kinds of people, you will know that you have set yourself up to let your light shine and to move from good into the great of whatever it is that is the next thing for you. I'm going to make a little plug for Karen's workshop. I know a little bit about it today. It's very exciting. This is the very thing, right, that you're going to be confronting in this workshop, is confronting the limiting thoughts, the limiting ideas, and the ways in which we hold ourselves back, and really asking ourselves, really, are you going to keep letting that happen? To break through from limitation to the truth of who we are, the limitlessness truth. And so when we want to do this breakthrough from limitation to limitlessness, we must be committed to this light. We must be committed to it. So that means we have to be committed to our positive thinking and our cheerful expectancy, even when it's dark, even when it doesn't appear to be working, even when it feels like there are barriers and boundaries and gaping holes into which we can fall. I'm a motorcycle rider from way back. I bought my first motorcycle when I was 18. I went into a Honda dealer, and I said, let's see. I looked around, and I realized that I could afford a $2,000 brand new motorcycle. $2,000 was only going to get me a used clunker of a car. So I decided to buy a motorcycle. So I went into the shop. I said, we tried a couple. I'd never ridden a motorcycle before in my life. I did not tell the salesperson that. I said, oh, this motorcycle feels pretty good. You know, this is okay. I didn't want those big ones over there because I was afraid that I dropped them. I would never be able to pick it back up again. I literally made the salesman put the bike over on the floor to see whether I could pick it up, because it was just me, myself, and I. So we did we made the deal, and I got my helmet, and I got my suit, and I got my banana suit to Seattle, right? It rains 9 months out of the year, so I had to have my rain suit. I got all of that. I got everything I needed. And then I said we signed the papers. Then I said to the salesman, so will you teach me how to drive it? He said, you're kidding, right? I said, no. Mm-mm. He said, where do you live? Oh, I said, across the bridge, across Lake Washington, over on the other side over there. You know, it's about 10, 15 miles. He was like, okay, we can't let you leave. Because I actually had somebody drop me off. I had no way home but my motorcycle. So he didn't quite know what to do with me. So he said, okay, so we have a big, kind of gravel area out back. Let's go out there. So he showed me how to shift, and he showed me how to, work the levers and buttons and dials and all that stuff. And, you got it in motorcycle riding, you got all four limbs going. And he said, okay. He said, so practice. I said, okay. I was out there practicing. I was out there practicing. He came out an hour. He watched me for 2 minutes practice some more. He came out an hour later, so now I've been there 2 hours. He watched me for about 5 minutes. He said, no, I can't let you leave. Practice some more. 3 hours later, he came out. He watched me for 5 or 10 minutes. He said, okay, as long as you stay off the highways, that means you have to go around the long way around the lake. As long as you stay off the highways, I'll let you leave. And that's what I did. I drove all the way around, the long way around the lake. And then for 3 weeks, I drove my motorcycle only in my neighborhood. And I taught myself how to ride. And that was my transportation for 3 years. When it came to Dallas, I bought a motorcycle again. And I decided maybe I should take motorcycle lessons, because I've never had them. It's a lot of traffic out here. Maybe I should get a little thing on my driver's license that actually says I'm allowed to ride a motorcycle. Now I'm a mom, you have to be more integrity, you have to do these things properly now. Instead of when you're 18 and it doesn't really matter, nothing really matters. So I went to motorcycle school, and that was great. I learned a lot of things that I didn't know, which I really needed to know, which was really lovely, especially because I was planning on putting my child on my motorcycle with me. And the one thing I will never forget, the motorcycle, we went out to a parking lot. He deliberately took us to a new parking lot, and this parking lot was a kind of messed up, and there were like those parking strips, you know what I mean? Those little concrete things. There were potholes in the parking lot. And he let us go 1 or 2 or 3 at a time, and he said, okay, you're just going to make your way around. You know, you're going to go around here, and then you're going to go around there, and then you're going to go around here. And we all looked at this, and we were like, are you kidding me? Oh, yeah. He said, yeah. He said, okay, so here's the deal. Just don't look at the potholes. What? He said, don't look at the potholes. Don't look at the barriers. If you look at the pothole, you know what will happen? Your motorcycle will follow you in there. Let me tell you, I tested that out, and it is true. Your motorcycle will go exactly where you are looking. Think about that. So will your bicycle. It will go exactly where you are looking. And so we learned to look around the corner we were driving on. We learned to look beside the pothole, to the lane that we actually wanted to drive in. Do you see? We're enculturated to look at the pothole so we can watch out for it. Right? So therefore, we're figuring out all the things that are going to stand in the way of us and our greatness, and us and our bigness. We're figuring all that out, and we're spending a lot of time trying to figure out how to not fall into the pothole. The only way to not fall into the pothole is to not look at it, which means we have to have a commitment to our positive thinking and our cheerful expectancy that we can actually drive where we want to go around anything that stands in our way. You're going to get to practice some of this afternoon. It's brilliant. I promise you, it's brilliant. Whether you want to break a board or not, it's brilliant work. You don't want to miss it. One of the things that has really been a powerful partnership for me with Karen is that I have always asked myself the question, how do I live this? How do I live the science of mind? And what I see Karen doing over and over and over again is asking herself, how do I live my passion and my commitment? What's mine to do? What's mine to do in the world? What's mine to do when I see injustice? What's mine to do when I see that humanity is not behaving in alignment with the spiritual truth of what we know to be true? What's mine to do? And as we all know, learning to live our principles is sometimes messy and it's challenging. And we have to learn what that looks like. What does it look like to be loving? Well, sometimes we start out by being a doormat, right? Then we think we have to accept everything and everybody. And pretty soon we learn, no, loving also means telling the truth. And then we start blasting people with our truth, right? So we go from this end to that end, and then we start, calibrating. Now really, what does it mean to be loving? And over time, do you see, we learn how to be that, and how to do that, and how to mature into the practice. And I think this is one of the most extraordinary things that I've watched Karen do over the last 5 years, is to examine what is mine to do, what is hers to do, what is hers to do as a minister, what is hers to do as the co-spiritual leader at CSLDallas. What is ours to do in the face of the things that we see and hear and observe in the world, not just in our own personal lives? And we have been calibrating that over and over and over again, seeking to learn, seeking to experience how best to answer the question, what's mine to do? And one of the things that I love so much about Karen, what I think is so important and so powerful, is that what is hers to do is different than what's mine to do. right? Because we're different and we take our ministries up a little differently. And we just show up differently, and we're different people, and we have different skills and tendencies and ways of being in the world. And she is so unbelievably supportive of the way in which I show up in my ministry. And it is so amazing to watch her explore that in her ministry. And how you show up this day is different than how you showed up 2 years ago and how you showed up when you came here. And it will be different than how you show up 5 years ago. That's the other thing I know about you, Karen Fry, is that you are always learning and growing. You are always learning and growing and stretching yourself and becoming more of who you came here to be. And that is one of the most beautiful gifts that you give to all of us, is your humanity and your willingness to discover all of the things that stand in the way of your light, to banish them into the darkness from which they came, and to discover how that light is showing up. Right? Every time you do that, you give us permission to shine our lights too. And that, I think, is the mark of a spiritual leader, to do your work so that we can do ours. So that we can ask ourselves the question, at home, what is mine to do? In my relationship, what is mine to do? With my health, what is mine to do? With my prosperity, what is mine to do? With the places, the people at work, with my coworkers, with my company, with my creativity, with my work in the world, with the community. What is mine to do? Always grounded in that deep and powerful commitment to who we are and to what we teach. I had the fun of writing an article about Karen for our commemorative keepsake program. I hope that you have gotten your copy. If not, they're out in the back. And I wrote a whole bunch of qualities that I see and experience in this beautiful light. But I have a book of qualities, and there was 2 in particular that I wanted to read, because I think together they describe Reverend Karen Fry. The first one is power. Power made me a coat. For a long time, I kept it in the back of my closet. I didn't like to wear it much, but I always took good care of it. When I first started wearing it again, it smelled like mothballs. As I wore it more, it started fitting better and stopped smelling like mothballs. I was afraid if I wore the coat too much, someone would want to take it from me. Someone would want to take it, or else I would accidentally leave it in the dojo dressing room. But it has my name on the label now, and it doesn't really fit anyone else. When people ask me where I found such a becoming garment, I tell them about the tailor, Power, who knows how to make coats that you grow into. First, you must find the courage to approach Power and ask Power to make your coat. Then you must find the patience within yourself to wear the coat until it fits. And the other one, excitement. Excitement wears orange socks. She understands the language of flames and loves to build fires. She first taught me how to build a fire when I was 17. I was young and scared of being burned. Now I am preparing for another visit. This time I am going to open my heart and let the fire inside. Excitement is a visionary. She is skilled in the art of friendship. She has worked at many jobs: electrician, juggler, sign painter, singer, inventor, poet. Excitement has always moved around. As a teenager, she took a room in Anxiety's house, and last winter, Patience sheltered her. The wind taught Excitement how to be 2 places at once, and they are still very good friends, though they do not spend as much time together. Sometimes when Excitement dances with the wind, there is lightning in the sky. Yeah, power and excitement, passion and courage. Most of all, be love. As you know, Karen started a beautiful organization, created a beautiful image. Be love, pass it on. And I want to, again, remind us that love is not only soft, it is strong. Love is not only sweet, it is powerful. And to be love is a powerful statement. It calls us to be as strong a presence and as strong a light. It means that from love we will not be moved. And if you, like me, have been in difficult situations, you actually know how easily it is to be moved off love and into other feelings and other ways of being in the world. And the strength and the power and the commitment that it takes to be love is to be the presence, is to be the light. It is to see with the eyes of love and to speak with the voice of love and to act with the heart of love. And over and over and over again, we invite ourselves into this love, this deep and profound and powerful place of love. And I watch Karen. I watch her over and over and over again ask herself, how do I be love? How can I be love? What does it look like to be love? And like the rest of us, we are all growing into that. But to have someone who is so committed to that it stretches and grows us, is a truly profound gift. And for the 5 years that I've been stretched and grown, and for the love that Karen has brought not only to the ministry, but to my life and to my heart, I'm truly grateful. Rev Karen Fry. So, thank you. Yes, beautiful.